A new year gives you an opportunity, not a transformation. You still have to do the work, unfortunately. And if you want a new quote unquote you, start by asking, welcome to What If It All Goes Right, the show for high achievers who are ready to stop fearing the worst and start stepping into their power. I'm your host, Angela Gargano, 6-time American Ninja Warrior, keynote speaker, peak performance coach, and former biochemist. Every episode, I'm going to give you the mindset shifts and practical tools to shake off the doubt, reignite your energy, and remember just how powerful you really are. Because it's time to stop fearing the worst and start asking, what if it all goes right? What if it's already going right? Hey everyone, it's Angela Gargano, and welcome back to What If It All Goes Right. Let's talk about the new year, because every January, people go all in with big energy, huge resolutions, and promises that this is going to be their year. And by February, they're burnt out, they've fallen off, or maybe they've ghosted their goals completely. And listen, I have done it too. I've been there, okay? I've set some crazy expectations of myself, and I've gone all in, and I've also crashed super hard. So today, I want to save you from that cycle. Let's talk about the 5 mistakes that people make when starting the new year and what you can actually do instead so that that does not happen again. But first, if you haven't already, make sure you're following the What If It All Goes Right podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave a quick review or rating. It helps this show reach more amazing humans just like you. Seriously, can you go do it though? That'd be so great. Please for me, do it for me. Okay, I won't beg. Let's dive in. Mistake number 1 I see all the time is thinking the new year, new you happens just like automatically. Like you just like appear in like as soon as the clock turns into 2026 or 2027, whatever, you're like, that's it, new person, that's it, boom. And I hate to break it to you, but January 1st doesn't magically erase your old habits, your mindset, or your limiting beliefs. You don't wake up this like new person because the calendar flipped, okay? A new year gives you an opportunity, not a transformation. You still have to do the work, unfortunately. And if you want a new quote unquote you, start by asking, what version of myself do I actually want to become? What do I need to start or stop doing in order to get there? And I want you to write it down, visualize it, and then create actions that align with it. Because the date doesn't actually change you. The discipline is what's going to change you. And let me tell you something, it's not going to be easy to change. Mistake number 2, going too hard, too fast. Because January brings out the all or nothing energy. You're hitting 2 workouts a day, cutting your carbs, buying new supplements, tracking every second. And then by week 3, you're exhausted and you're like, wow, like this is not actually integrate into my real life, right? And here's the truth, consistency beats intensity every single time. So instead of trying to overhaul your life in a week, pick 1 or 2 changes and just master them. Start small, do it daily, and then build from there. And I know it doesn't seem like you're going to see the progress right away, but I promise you, you will. Because you don't need to sprint into the year. You need to pace yourself like you would pace for a marathon. Mistake number 3, setting aesthetic goals instead of performance goals. Setting aesthetics goals instead of performance goals. So most people start the year chasing a look, I want abs, I want to lose 20 pounds, I just want to tone up, right? That's cool. But what happens when the scale doesn't move? You're just going to quit? Like that's just going to be the end of it? What's the deeper reason and the deeper why for you actually doing these things? So the truth is, appearance-based goals rarely last because they depend on motivation and this idea of external validation. Whereas performance-based goals build consistency because they are measurable, they're empowering, and they're process-driven. So instead of saying, I want to lose weight, I want to deadlift my body weight, or maybe I want to get my first pull up. That's like one of the biggest reasons why I started Pull Up Revolution. And I wanted to show people and women that they can work on these impossible goals and empower themselves instead of trying to be less. Maybe it's, I want to run a 5K without stopping. Maybe it's, I want to train for 4 days a week for 3 months straight. When you focus on what your body can do, not just on how it looks, you naturally build the habits that change both. When you focus on what your body can do, not just how it looks, you naturally build the habits that change both. And it's so much more empowering, and you'll be able to stick to it. Okay? Mistake number 4, relying on hype instead of habits. Because January is going to feel electric, the adrenaline's going to be there, the new gear, the new programs, the new playlists, but hype is going to fade, and that's where most people actually lose it. They depend on this motivation instead of building systems, and systems for your life, systems for your health. That's what's actually going to help you. The second the excitement dips, so does any kind of consistency, right? So in order to fix this, I want you to make sure that you're building routines that don't require you to feel like it, because you're not always gonna feel like it. I want you to schedule your workouts like meetings in that you can't cancel, like putting it in your Google Calendar, locking it down. Pre-plan your meals before the week starts. Keep your goals visible. Literally write them on your mirror, because motivation is just an emotion, right? Where habits are the foundation. That's actually what's going to take you through with whatever goal that you have, whether it be physical, whether it be with leadership, whether it be relationships. If you want this year to be different, you need to stop chasing that rush and start building the routine, okay? And mistake number 5, trying to change in the same environment that broke you. And I know this one's going to sting a little bit because it's true. You can't expect different results when you're surrounded by these same habits, the same people, the same triggers that keep you stuck last year. You have to change it up in some type of way. There's definitely something that you can do. So if your kitchen's full of junk food, get rid of the junk food. If your friends skip workouts and your phone is just full of distractions, you're fighting this uphill battle. It's going to make it really hard for you to succeed. But when your environment actually matches your goals, you can set your space up for success. You can pre-prep your meals. You can move your phone across the room when you sleep. You can hang out with people who challenge your comfort zone and who are trying to do the same things that you're trying to do. Well, discipline gets you started, but the environment is going to actually keep you consistent. You don't rise to your goals, you fail to your systems. Okay? You don't rise to your goal, I said fail, but you fall to your systems. So the new year doesn't require a new you. It requires a more intentional you, the version of you who sets goals with clarity, builds slowly, forgives quickly, and stays consistent long after the hype fades. And before we wrap up, don't forget to follow What If It All Goes Right on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave a quick rating or review. It helps the show grow, and it will mean the world to me. Please just leave a review. And if this episode hit home for you, send it to someone who always goes all in every January and then crashes by February. We all know that person. And let's start to break that pattern together this year. This is your year, not because the calendar says so, but because you're finally showing up with a plan, okay? And what if it all goes right? What if it's already going right? Stay tuned for the next episode and keep an eye out. We're going to be doing a vision board goal setting workshop. So I'm going to be able to break this all down literally with you in real time so that you can be successful in the new year.